First and foremost, and I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Yahawah is who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of the Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's video, I wanted to talk about pretty much quantum mechanics. Okay, and I found that how I found this to be real spiritual, right? Because I think it was yesterday or before yesterday, I was actually in class, and this was the first time in this classroom where I actually was paying attention, right? Because the professor pretty much started going into quantum mechanics and the basics of it. Okay, and I found it extremely spiritual, right? Because pretty much these scientists, they can't understand the quantum. Okay, for example, the observer effect is the fact that, like, for example, in the quantum mechanics, the whole thing started with you had these scientists that are trying to explain if light was a wave or a particle, right? So they do all these tests to see if it was a wave or a particle, right? So they're doing the testing, right? And they found that there was interference when you put two light waves together, so or two light whatever together, so they figured out it was a wave. Okay, but they also found that it was a particle at the same time. Okay, so that stumped them out, and they started getting more and more into the quantum, and they realized that light, okay, before it's observed, it's pretty much a wave and a particle at the same time. Okay, and that's something that they just can't explain, right? Nobody can explain this at this time. Okay, this is the enigma, right? It says the observer effect is the fact that observing a situation or phenomenon necessarily changes it. Observer effects are especially prominent in physics, where observation and uncertainty are fundamental aspects of modern quantum mechanics. Right? So just by looking at this particle, it can change. Just the observation, which goes to show that these particles, um, they're cognizant of the fact that they're being watched, right? They're pretty much conscious, okay? And here's a picture says before observation wave spread out over space and time. At this time, the observation particle localized space-time event, right? And let me actually go back. Quantum mechanics, no, quantum mechanics split, right? Pretty much, like one of the ways, I think is this right here. Yeah, one of the ways, let me make this bigger. Yeah, one of the things they're doing to pretty much go into this is that, like, it's crazy because they'll shoot this light which will go through here and then go to the end, and then they'll pretty much collect it, right? And they would put, like, the light goes from here, it goes up and it goes down, split 50-50, right? But what they started doing is that they put a detector right here, okay, to detect if it was a wave. Okay, and all the light particles somehow knew that there was a detector this way and completely avoided that path and started just only going with the bottom path. And that's something they can't understand. They can't understand how these light particles know that they're being detected. Also, every single time they put a detector, right, they could put a particle detector and all the light would come out as being particles. Or they put a wave detector and all of a sudden all the light comes out as being waves, right? So it's insane because they can't put their finger on how this is doing it. So again, now I was pretty much getting the context of this quantum, right? Getting now to what I found spiritual about this is that what website was this? Let me see a second. Right, what I found spiritual about this is that the reason I believe that these people cannot understand pretty much the quantum is because the Lord has limited our understanding. Okay, the Lord has limited our understanding. Okay, that's the answer I have to this right here because I feel like Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, all the increase about the nuclear technology, okay, and the point we're at right now, Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, and gave it to these people ruling the earth right now, right? The Edomites. Okay, everything is given through him. But also, rereading the scriptures, let's read it. Job chapter 14 and verse 5, it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Right? And that's going into those in rulership right now, the wicked. Right? Yahawah Bashim Yahushua has put a bounds in time that they cannot pass. Right? And also a bounds in technology. right, and information, right? Because he knows that if he were to give them all the information, scriptures constantly talk about how they're trying to be like God, right? They're trying to be the Most High. Okay, you can read that in Isaiah 14 and Obadiah the first chapter, right? So, when I was in that classroom, I was just thinking, oh, the Lord set a bound upon our people, right? So that we can't pass. Or else these Edomites, these wicked in power, would pretty much self-destruct. Okay. And I also watched this a series the other day. It's called The Three Body Problem. I'm pretty much giving some spoilers. It's pretty much a series about how you have these like aliens who came into contact these people in the world, and one thing these Santi, the aliens were called the Santi people. One thing I found spiritual that they were talking about is that they said this. I got the transcript. It says human beings have existed for 100,000 years, which that's not true, but they're coming with that context of evolution. It says for most of that time you weren't so different from apes. How long did it take you to discover agriculture? Why don't you just cut the shit and tell us? It took you 90,000 years to get from hunter gatherer to farmer. After that, how long did it take you to become industrialist? About 10,000 years. Atomic power, 200 years. Computers, the information age, 50 years. And how long do you think it took us to get from hunting to farming and farming to industry? A lot longer, right? And you keep reading their pretty much their civilization every every single time it would just destroy, so they had to restart from fresh. But the point is right here. It says it will be 400 years before you reach you. By the time we do, you have long surpassed us. You will destroy our fleets and then come back and destroy our world to make sure we never threaten you again. Right? And that I found that to be highly spiritual because that is the mindset of these Edomites, right? These wicked elite that are ruling, right? They want to be like the Most High. Let's actually get that scripture in Isaiah chapter 14, since I quoted it, going into pretty much Babylon. Isaiah chapter 14, and I'll start at verse 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Right? When you go into Lucifer, it just goes into light bearer, right? It's not a singular person, it's a group of people, right? Light bearer, those that have the light, the way of this world. Okay? And it doesn't have to be righteousness or anything. Light is just going into the way. The Luciferians, so that's why they're called the Illuminati, right? The illuminated ones. It's all the global elites. It says, son of the morning, how art thou come down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, I will be like the Most High. Okay, and that's the mentality of the elite ruling right now, right? That's why they want to push the chip, okay, to literally be a god over these people, okay? And hey, if it was to them, right, they wouldn't stop at just the tip, right? They're not going to stop at the chip. They want to get it like that Matrix movie, right? In the Matrix movie, um, when Neo disconnected, right, this is what he saw. Okay, he saw a pod. It was pretty much a ship with all these humans plugged into a giant machine, and the machine was pretty much taking their energy, right? Because we are electricity. Okay, the machine was taking the humans' energy to pretty much power itself. Right? If these devils could, hey, they would get to this point. Like you best believe that. But the point I'm trying to establish that I found this quantum shit, right, to be highly spiritual. Right? Showed me that the Lord, he put a block. Right? He put a block that these Edomites, okay, these elite, wicked elite, are not going to be able to pass, or else we'd all be fucked. Right? Hey, it made me think of a scripture. Flesh. Right. In Matthew chapter 24 and verse 22, it says, and except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right. And it's going into the times of the end. Right. If these days weren't shortened, Yahawah Bashim Yahushua didn't start speeding things up, these devils will self implode. Right. They would literally just kill everybody. Right. You can see the state of the earth right now. Okay. The animals are pretty much all depressed. Right. The earth is not giving forth its increase. Right, the nations are mad because you realize that everything is just going to shit. Their daughters are becoming prostitutes, harlots in the street. Okay, and wickedness is just going rampant. Right, there's no type of order. Okay, and like I've been saying, if you were just to let this go on 3, 4, 5,000 years, we wouldn't be here. Right? We wouldn't be here because the mindset of the wicked is to just do wicked and more wickedly every single time. Iniquity, which means sin upon sin. Right? And ultimately sin brings forth death. Okay, and we're already starting to see that in this society right now. Right? A mentality of just death. Okay, let's get this on Daniel chapter 12 because it was prophesied that we're going to enter times of great knowledge. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4 says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." Right? And we're in the time of the end, right? And that's why we have this technology to be able to make nuclear missiles. Okay, so ultimately to fulfill prophecy, right? And the book has been opened, right? Yahawah it talks about how he loosed those seven seals, right? So all these wicked elite, they know the prophecies, they know what's going down. So that's why it says that the devil shall come down with great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Right? These devils, they know that the prophecies are going down right now. So they're gonna try to speed up their NWO even faster and faster. Right? And it says knowledge shall be increased. Right? You read the transcript, okay, in just a couple hundred years, right? In the last 150 or 10 years, we've made significant advancements, right? And that how it says, right? The Santi people said, if you keep going on this rate, hey, by the time we come in 400 years, they're gonna be way surpassing us. Right? You're gonna surpass us to a point where you can just destroy us. Okay, and that's a mentality of Esau Edom, is that self-destruction. But let's get one more. This is Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 3. And when it's talking about tires going into the Edomites, those in power right now, right? Because it says the same thing, right? Remember, therefore, thus saith Yahawah, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God, right? Trying to be like God. Behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Right? Talking about this coming destruction. But it says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from thee." Right? And going into the elite. Right? You got to remember that the elites, they have scholars that search the scriptures. Okay? That understand the prophecies. Okay? So the elites, they know what's going down. Right? They're wiser than Daniel, because when Daniel was writing these prophecies, he didn't know what he was seeing. Right? Even right now, the men of great millstone, those breaking out these scriptures, such like me, and we're wiser than that, and we know more than the ancient prophets. Right? Because when the ancient prophets were on the scene, they didn't know what they were seeing. But now that all this time has passed, we're able to link everything together. Okay, so these elites right now, they are wiser than Daniel. Okay, and nothing is hid from them except this phenomenon right here. Quantum mechanics is a study of how particles at the atomic and subatomic level interact with each other and their environments. The observer effect is the phenomenon in which the act of observation alters the behavior of the particles being observed. This effect is due to the wave-like nature of matter, which means that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously. When an observer measures a particle property of a particle, they are effectively collapsing the wave function of that particle, causing it to assume a definitive state. So like I said, if you put it towards the lens of a particle, right, looking for particles, the light is going to come forth as a particle. If you look at it trying to see if you can find waves, it's going to come forth as a wave, right? But without observation, it's both of those at the same time, right? Which is this is something that they can't understand. And like I said, I believe that this is the Most High Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai is setting those bounds that these Edomites, the wicked, can't pass, right? Because if they were to pass this bound of being able to understand them, right, the spiritual realm, hey, we would be fucked, right? We would be fucked. So I just found these things highly spiritual. Lesson was all over the place, but hopefully I established a point. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of the great millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom, Shalom.